How you doing, everyone? This is the gray water tank, and if you look on YouTube you don't see a lot about these. I got this one from Camping World, and it's a 10-gallon tank, and then this comes separate. Now I didn't get the one with the flange on the twist on this side. I have this one just glues onto the tank. It's going to go on like this. And it already fits. I didn't have to buy a piece of plastic. That was one thing I wondered about. Do I have to buy a piece of plastic? Now, it has some kind of hookup right here. I'm not sure what this is. I suppose this is to tell you whether it's full. I'm sure they have some kind of gauge or something that goes on this. I don't have it. I'm not going to put it on, not that I know of, because that's the way I think we're going to have it on our camper. Now, I just got an 1.5 inch. This is a flush mount, 1.5 inch flange. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the gray water box up in there, and then we're gonna drill the hole from where we want the shower to go down through after we figure it out, and then we'll drill the hole right through the tank and the floor at the same time. So that's the way I'm gonna do it. All right, I'm gonna show you guys what we've done here. I just stuck one screw in that back corner back there. And then we got one screw right in that corner right there. Now, we're just a little bit wondering if the hose is going to hit. Is it going to make it past this frame to hook up? We don't know how flexible it is. Nothing is solid yet. It just on and off pretty easy. But we had to push it back under a little bit because with it out here, if it was all the way out here, I don't think we get the hose on. We still may have to move this thing back a little bit, so we only got 2 screws. It's not too late to change it. We can push it back a little more if we have to. But we got it all the way up against this rail here, right here. So we're gonna check a hose. All right, here. We tried a hose on it. We got Danny's hose off the old Bendix over there, and it fits on there. So I don't think we're gonna have a problem putting this tank in. We're just gonna go ahead and finish screwing it up, getting it all screwed into place, and then we'll get our shower hook down into there. Okay guys, we're still working on the gray water tank. I'm gonna be working on the gray water tank while Julie's putting a coat of this Kiehl's primer. It's a primer sealer. She's going to put it on all the walls. We got all the walls sanded down, the cabinets cleaned out. Everything looks pretty good. It's ready for a coat of primer. So Julie's going to be working on that while I'm working on the shower stall. Now I had a hard time with the shower stall, but I'm going to show you how I found the fittings and what I did to find them. And I'm going to do as much, explain that shower in the gray water tank as much as I possibly can, so you won't have as hard a time as I did. So we're going to get on that here in a couple minutes. Alright, I wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about, okay, like me, I'm putting in a shower stall. I didn't need the gray water for anything other than the shower stall. That's all I need it for, because my wife wanted to shower and I want to make sure I give her a shower. So you've seen the 10-gallon gray water holding tank that I have. I explained to you that the thing you pull there was 3 inch. I bought that. I didn't need a pipe in between that. It fit on there fine. And all I have to do is glue it. And I ordered this piece special when I ordered the gray water tank. This is 1.5 inch flush mount fitting. So this goes into the gray water tank. Alright, and this is going to be pretty much flush. Just about completely flush. It'll sink down into the tank. Now I'll show you me putting all this in, but I want to explain to you what I had to do to get the shower going. Now I wanted to keep the shower closest to the floor as I could, because my trailer's only 6 foot 3 inches high, I think. And I'm only 5'6". That still gives me a little room above my head. But I ordered this piece here, and this is a low profile shower drain. And you can look these up online. You can find them online. I think I might have paid $20-some for this. Okay, and then I wanted to hook this to this. So I bought this piece. Now, in order for me to get this to stick in this, I needed a special glue. Now, you just can't use any PCV glue on this. I guess you gotta make sure you get the right glue. So we got, this is almost like a, I don't know, just about for everything. So anyhow, I asked the guy at the hardware store, and this is what he gave me. He explained to me what it was good for, and he gave me a cleaner. He said, make sure you clean it good, put a coat of this on both sides, and that's what I'll do on this piece and on this piece when I put it down in. Now, I have 3/4 of an inch plywood coming out of the floor. So we know I got 3/4 of an inch from the top of this lip to up so high, 3/4 of an inch. So now I wanted to get this low as I could. So I took and cut this off. Let's see, we got the piece here laying. I cut that piece off. So this would go down inside of here deeper. So it's pretty much flush now. That got me a little closer to the floor. Believe it or not, that matters. So now I wanted something to hook this to. Now these are just, they're almost identically the same. I'll be able to get my hose on there. I think they look the same. So, but they're a little different color. So, but it does work. So I went to the one section and got this piece. Went to another section, got this piece. And this screws into here. Now, as long as I have 3/4 of an inch from this to the bottom of there and able to get a clamp on there, I'll be fine. So that'll keep me right, almost right on the floor for this guy here to rest almost right on the floor too. And here's the hose that I bought. Now, I don't know if this is the right hose, but it's the only hose that they had. So that's what I'm going to use. It's a pretty good heavy hose, and I'm just using it as a drain. So I think it'll work. And these guys fit inside of them like that. And we're just going to put a clamp on them. That's what we're going to do. So this way I'll be able to take this thing back apart. I was going to do it another way, but nah. We got our clamps. We got everything to put this guy in with. So this is the project we're going to be working on with the gray water tank. Alright, I went ahead and mounted this in the bottom of it, our drain here. And I set it in place. I took some old scrap wood and laid it up underneath of it so I can get a height. I got a 1/4 inch piece of plywood and 2x4. And I made a mark underneath. I took my pencil, went underneath, and got the underneath of this. And then I marked the top. So now all I got to do is measure from here down to the next mark underneath, and I'll know how high that board's got to be all the way around, because I made a mark all the way around it and it's the same. So you can see how I made my mark on the wall. Now if I follow that second mark down all the way around, it'll be exactly where I need the board to go to trim this, just to have something to hold it up on the edge. So now I'm going to go in there and get me some 1x. I'll trim the back in 1x and the front in a 2x2. So I think this is going to be pretty good. Alright, I'm going to show you what I got so far here. There's our shower stall. And you can see the trim board that goes all the way around it now. We got trim all the way around it. And you can see where the mark is on the floor. That's where the hole goes from the shower down. Put this guy back in here. Sits perfect on there. Now, let's see if you can see this. You can see back in there is our drain. That's our pipe. Now, I was going to put it straight through the floor, but I decided not to because everything had to be glued together and I'd never be able to get this thing back apart. So now, with this flexible hose, I'll be able to hook it on there and then bend it around the front without it kinking. That was what I was worried about, it kinking. And we'll put our hole down through the floor right here. That way you can put the clamp on it after the shower is put in. As long as I clamp that back in there real tight, get everything sealed up back there, I should be able to bring it back up here, and then this guy will stick out of the floor right here like that. And I should be able to put my clamp on there pretty easily right there. That should work out good. So that's the plan. So hopefully it works out. So now I got to get a hole cut down through there. So the hole has to be big enough for this nut to fit in. So I laid it down on there like this and marked it just so I cut that completely out. Not too big, because I got to silicone that thing down in there too, because that's outside. That's our gray water tank. So it's a little tricky, but we're getting it. Okay, I'm going to start my hole here. I had to drill it back just a little bit more because the drill's hitting that board there. Matter of fact, maybe I should just take that board off. That's what we'll do. We'll take that board off. Now we'll be able to drill that hole right where we want her. Now we don't want to go all the way through this floor. We just want to cut through the plywood. This is cutting actually 1 inch or 2 1/4. We needed 2 1/8. It's going to give us a little bit of room. Once I get down to here, about that far, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a regular drill bit and I'm going to drill down through there right into the tank. And that way I'll know where the hole needs to be in the tank. And I'll pull the tank out because the hole in the tank is this size. And it may be just a little too big. I'm not sure. I don't know. Looks like it fits in there pretty daggone good. Let's see. Yeah, we might be able to just go right on through the tank. So heck with it. That's what we'll do. We'll just go right on through the tank. As you can see, I've never done this before. We're just trial and error here. We're just doing what we can. Just going to make sure. I think that's okay to put that thing right into the tank. So let's give it a try. I think we're getting close. Well, we're definitely on the tank right there. I can see the tank down in there, right there. That's the tank. Man, this is scary making this cut. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there. The tank has been marked. It's got a mark in it. Maybe I'll go just a little bit more, but I think it's got a good mark in it so we can find it. I just scared I'm going to tear it up. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll put a smaller drill on there. Let me see. I got one sitting here. We'll put a little hole down through there just to make sure it's in the center. And then got a little divot there. Well, there's the tank. We definitely got a hole in the tank right there. So now what I'm going to do is go down and I'm going to take the tank back out, and we'll go ahead and cut it, get the hole in it, and we'll get this guy glued in there, and then we'll set it back up into place. Then we'll glue all this in there. Okay, I got the tank back off, and you can see the hole that's marked there where this guy has to go down in. But man, this wood bit, this bit is definitely not good for that, I don't think. But I'm afraid it's gonna break it. I just wonder if I should take like my jigsaw and just jigsaw it out. I probably could do a fairly decent job. It wants to melt. The bit wants to melt it. I'm not sure what to use on it. It's pretty thick though. That drum's pretty thick. It looks almost, I bet it's close to 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just wondering if I could get my jigsaw down in there. Could I just go ahead and just cut it with the jigsaw? Because I'm afraid of that bit just having, now if it was a hole saw bit, you know, just a hole saw, it'd probably do a better job, but I don't have any of them, so I just got to work with what I have. I'm going to try my jigsaw and see if I can do anything with it. I found a little bit in my Dremel tool thing, in my box of Dremel tools. I think this thing's going to cut it. I started and it seemed to cut it. As you can see, it melded it, but it's cutting it. We're getting a circle in there. What I'll do is I'll get it as close as I can, and maybe I'll just foul it off or take a razor blade knife. Seems like a razor blade knife might just take it right off. I think that's going to fit perfect. So I'm just going to take my razor blade knife and clean that edge up right there, and I think it'll be okay. We'll just clean up this little rough edge going around it, just so it lays down in there good and flush. Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Now the hole in the floor, I got it finished drilled. But it was a little bit tougher because that bit wanted to flop around. That bit actually is made for a drill press, but I just used it on a regular drill. We're just using what we have, trying to. Now what I might do is just take some sandpaper. Now that we got that cleaned up, just take some sandpaper over it, and okay, I'm just going to take some sandpaper and just go right around this edge and just kind of rough it up and clean that edge off. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'll rough it up a little bit. I don't know if you have to do this, but I'm doing it. Just rough it up a little bit. Now we're going to get our cleaner. I was going to use alcohol, but they gave us a cleaner here. We're going to use it to clean this up real good. Ooh, that's some strong stuff. we're going to clean this one up over here this time. It's actually taking some of the plastic off. Well, better not lay it there. That's our tub surround. Alright, now this is the glue they gave us for the black and the white, because we got a white piece we got to stick in here too. Ugh, man, that's tight. Okay, got that thing open. Now let's go ahead and... Oh, this is some pretty glue. And we're going to put a nice heavy coat right on this, all the way around. Then we're going to put a nice heavy coat on this one, all the way around. Then we're going to set her down in there and hope for the best. We're going to let that sit up a little bit. Once that sets up, I can go ahead and put this tank back in. I don't figure it'll take very long. I'm giving it just a little twist as it's dry in there. And then I think we can go ahead and put the tank back in. I want to try to get the tank in because it's supposed to rain for the next 4 or 5 days here. It's supposed to be storms, and there's no way I'm going to get up underneath that thing when it's storming. So I'm going to work my hardest to try to get this thing set in before nightfall. Alright, we got the tank back in. Good deal. Nice hole going in there. Got all good stainless steel bolts. We got 3 on each end and 4 on the sides. All 1/4-inch stainless bolts. I'll show you what they look like from underneath. You can turn your fan back on. I'll show you what they look like. Now I got these 1/4-inch bolts, and I figured, I'll put some big old washers on them, and this is all stainless steel. All the way down through there, all stainless steel. Good, nice, good bolts on there. So hopefully this thing will stay in there pretty good. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Either it don't want to focus or I can't see. I just can't see, I guess. But tank is in. Alright, this is our next step. We got to put this guy on. Now this is a valve. You want to hook your hose, your sewage hose, to this, and you got a lever here. You just pull it out, and all the gray water comes right out the hole. Then you push it back in and lock it into place. You're going to need this if you get the gray water tank. I'm not sure where I ordered this from. I know it. I know I have it in a book, and probably I could look it up. But I know the tank come from Camping World. Now they sell these at Camping World too, so you could get this stuff right at Camping World. But you want to make sure, if you have a 3-inch pipe coming out of that, you want a 3-inch pipe here, and this will just slide straight on, and you can glue it, and it's good to go. So there's not much to this piece here. So we're going to go ahead and put this one on. Well, I hope you guys can see this. It's a little tough for me to, I don't have a tripod small enough to hold that on. So I got a little rock holding the camera up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get some of this cleaner. And we're going to clean the outside of this guy real good. Going to brush that on there real good. And then we're going to take the inside of this guy, and we're going to clean him too. That's just a cleaner. That's to get all that, if there's any grease off your fingers or anything. But you don't want it to get down there on your rubber. It might melt that rubber. I'm not sure. So, hey, we got an ant on our camera. You might see an ant crawling around there. There's a bunch of them out here. I felt them crawling on my legs and everything. So now, we're going to get our glue. And we're going to put some glue right around this edge here. Like so. And then we're going to go around this guy the same way. We'll go right around the edge here. Alright. Now we're just going to stick this on. And we want to get that in the angle that we want this to pull out. We want that in the right angle there. And I think that is pretty good right there. I don't think we'll have any trouble with it. I don't see any glue down in there, so we're in good shape. Now this wasn't a very hard fix at all. So now we got us a good gray water tank on there, and we'll be able to hook our hose up on here and drain it. We got a 10-gallon tank. Now, I'm not sure exactly what I paid for it, maybe 160 bucks or something for 10-gallon. I got 12-gallon of water. I'll be able to hold 12-gallon of water on board. Now, you'd probably be able to take a shower. I don't know what it takes, maybe 2-3 gallons to take a shower, quick shower. You're not going to be able to soak or anything, but it'll do when you're out off-grid anyhow. If you're somewhere, maybe you're parked at Walmart or whatever, you'll have a little bit of, you could use a little bit of water anyhow. So, man, that tank was tough. But if I can do it, you all could do it too.